This is part of my Ultimate Shopify tutorial series playlist linked below, or you can watch the complete 7-hour tutorial linked at the end of the video and in the description. And if you haven't already signed up for Shopify, just know that I've got a link in the description to the best current deal available for Shopify. If you've already signed up, that's perfectly fine, but if you haven't, just know that the link is down in the description below. All right, let's get into the video. So in today's video, we're going to be going through how to create customized pages for your Shopify store. So these are your additional pages, like your about page, your FAQ, your contact page. How to actually create, customized ones that look on brand, look clean, and look really good, ready to go for your Shopify store. Because Shopify's builder is fairly basic, and if you don't know what you're doing, it can be really confusing. But in this video, I'm going to be showing you through how you can do some further customization to really bring forward your Shopify pages, just so that they stand out that tiniest bit more. All right, let's get into the video. The first thing we want to do is these ones are going to be easy ones. So this is where you would have listed off, like I did here, all your different collections. So the easiest way to do that is to just go through and get each of them from here. So if you just go up and you click your image, you're going to be getting each of your collections. If you followed along, that's where your collections are going to have been linked recently. Or remember, you can also find them back in the dashboard under products and then down under collections. Okay, so if we go to energy here, I'm just going to put that in there. So if I click that and then go settings, why is it not doing it for me? There. Okay, so we're going to go that way to do it. How we go about putting links in on these text here, instead of going and doing it through here, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight that and then go to this button here that says, looks like a link, and we're just going to paste in the link we just put in there, energy, and then just hit on there. Okay, so that one's added there. Now something I like to do is we don't want it to be underlined, so we just hit the underline button again. Okay. And then go through to focus, add that one in, which is going to be whatever your next collection is. You're going to go up here, copy and paste, put that in there. Focus. And go through and do that for each of yours. Okay, so we've added in here those easily for here. Now all we want to do, we're going to go we're going to go down from the top to the bottom, go through each of these here. You might have put them in a totally different order, that's okay, but this is the order I'm going to do it in. So the first one we're going to go through and do is our FAQ page. So we're going to create our FAQ page. I'm going to show you how we can also create a bit more of a bit more of an edited design for it, which then we're going to be able to use. Same thing for about and contact, okay? So if we just hit save there, make sure that's saved. Now what we want to do is go back here, hit GemPages here, and then this is going to take us back to the dashboard. And then the first thing we want to do is go through and actually create the pages. So we're going to hit online store, then we're going to hit pages. And then you'll see that I've got the about and contact, which you already guys know because you would have created them earlier with me. And then we're going to go to add page, and then once that loads, add page. I'm going to call this FAQ. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go make sure that that's visible and showing up. And now you'll see that it's got default page. Now that's just going to be, so if I show you now what that is, what it means by default page, it's just a default design that's already there. So we'll just have FAQ across on the left, and then once we put the content in, it'll all be below here and everything. But it's very poor looking. Like, to go from how good our website looks on a homepage to then just a basic on that's like across to the left, just not going to be up to the standard of what you want, obviously, and what we're doing with this tutorial. So I'm going to show you how we can create a much better version of that. So this is where I actually like, this is one of the reasons why I'm not the biggest fan of the Shopify builder. Especially for the home page, it's okay with these additional pages we're going to use once you know what you're doing with it. But it's a lot more cumbersome than it needs to be with those sides of things. So that's why I like your GemPages for building out your homepage, but then it's fine for like your more basic pages for your additional ones. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go and create a homepage, an actual proper design for the FAQ. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to go through here, because again, you could, just to give you an example, you could put in the FAQ now. So I'm just going to put in some content here, just put stuff in here, and anything I wrote in there, if I hit save and I go to view, it's going to show it up below there. It's not loaded yet. It's still not loaded. Anyway, it sometimes takes a while to show on there, but if anything you type here would then show up in the FAQ down below in there, and then that would be one way of doing the FAQ page really quickly. But I'm going to show you how you can design it, like I said, a bit better than that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to your online store, click up here, and then change this, hit save, and then we're going to go to online store. And you're going to go down to customize here. So this is the back end of our website. And don't worry that it doesn't look like the GemPages one we've built yet, but that's because we haven't officially made it our home page yet. It's still just using the default Shopify. So don't think that you're coming in here and you've lost your website or it's not there. We haven't made that official yet. The next thing we're going to do then now is actually, this is where it gets a little bit strange with Shopify, with its builder. And now that you've used GemPages, you'll see how much easier it is and why I prefer it. But we're going to go through and we're going to create our FAQ page unique design. Okay, so the way we do that, it's a bit of a roundabout way with them. We go to pages. So we're going to go down to, you click the home page down, then you're going to go to pages. Then you're going to go create template. So this is going to be creating a template, because at the moment it's built off the default page, which means anything you put in the builder, it just transfers across as that default design. It sounds a little bit confusing, but once you've worked around with it, you'll know what I mean. Okay, so if we just go to create template, and we're going to call this FAQ, so there's going to be a FAQ page template, trying to reinforce that, and we can say based on default page, and then we're just going to go create template. Okay, so this says FAQ, and it's changed for mine. This is again why Shopify is very strange sometimes with its builder. But I've built out an about page, that about page that we did. We actually want to change this here to change it and then change it to FAQ page. So we see what it looks like at the moment. And that's what it looks like at the moment. The FAQ design on the FAQ page. So make sure you're changing this to FAQ and you got that one as FAQ. Okay. Otherwise it's just not going to work. Okay. So what we're going to do first is we can't delete this because it's needed, but we can hide it so it doesn't get shown. Okay, so then we've got a nice clean looking one down here, and then so what we're going to do now is we're going to go through and actually make a bit better of a design for our FAQ. So using the basics of what you can do with the template, which is not a lot with Shopify's builder, but we'll do our best. Okay, because we're trying to make this cheap for you so you don't have to spend any more money. And so what we're going to do here is go to add section. So you go here, and this is similar to the builder, but way more basic. So, and you have to go around about ways to make everything, which is just annoying. So let's just go, this is the best one here for our header and everything, our hero image like you're used to building now. So you're just going to click this one and it's going to load it here, and then we're going to go into it. So obviously we don't need a button label, so we're going to remove that one. So just hit delete. Okay. And you know now why I'm not the biggest fan of Shopify's builder. Okay, so we're going back here again. It deleted everything instead of just that. So I'm just going to go remove that, and then we're going to remove this too. And then we just got this here. So we're going to work with this as our heading. So we're going to change that to FAQ. FAQ, I don't know why I put that in, the G in, and we don't have any options really with our different fonts. We just have to go with that for now. So we're going FAQ, and then we're going to go extra large, like that, okay? And then in terms of font color, so again, this is where it's very strange the way it goes about doing things. But you can't just, you know, I don't know why they wouldn't just make a button that you can just change the color. Make way more sense. But anyway, they don't do that. They don't want it to make sense. They want it to be way more difficult than it needs to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through, it's lucky that Shopify is very good for everything else. But what we're going to go through now and do is color this. So the roundabout way that Shopify makes us have to color it is if we go here, and here like this, coloring. Yeah, cool. So, okay, so the roundabout way we actually change this here is we click the rich text here. So it's the whole thing. And then we're going to change to color scheme. And it's going to have already its built-in color schemes here like this. That one is one I created recently. And then that's how we go about actually changing this. So you could put that one on and it gives us a nice, you know, like that's similar to the design that we've done. But I want to make one, you know, that's still white, but then the text is the gold color. Okay, so I'm going to go theme settings here, add scheme, and then we're going to change background to white, like that, and then background gradient, leave that, and then we're going to change the text color to orange-ish, this goldish, sorry. Oh, why is it? Yeah, so we're going to change it to that. I've already pre-saved this up here with this here that I've used. Okay, so it's just a little attachment that I use here that allows me to, you know, touch anywhere on the website, and then I can copy the color of it. But we're going to put that in there, so it's the same from my website. So that's that there. So we changed the text color, and then solid button background. We can leave that for now. Solid button label, we'll leave all that. Okay, so we've just got a white background with a gold writing. Okay, so we're going to go back like that, and then we're going to click this one and select it. So we've got that there, and yeah, cool. So we've got that. Click back here. So you click back on here again, so onto the rich text, and then click scheme 7. This is what we just created, and then we've got that there. So it's nice and centered, it's on brand, it's gold, and it's like that. Now, why Shopify would make you have to do a stupidly roundabout way just to change it to gold, I don't know. I don't know whether they're sitting around together having a bit of a laugh at making the best, best platform in the world for selling things, but yet the most basic builder that's ever existed. I don't know whether that's one of their little jokes they have. Who knows? But anyway, we've figured out how to change that to gold. So next thing we want to do is actually add in our FAQ down the bottom. Now, back in the day, it would have been really difficult to figure out how to make an FAQ, especially one that's like made for SEO. It's SEO optimized, but you know, we live in the day and age with AI, so it's really easy now to create a really good FAQ. And I'm going to show you how you can do it. We're going to head across to ChatGPT, and I'm going to go to this one here. We're pretending this glass design business. I'm just going to say to it, I'm going to say, I'm going to have these prompts in the document that you can use yourself, but I'm going to show you here live. So I'm going to say, can you please create an FAQ for this business that is also SEO optimized? Okay, so that just means it's going to create FAQ based off this business, and then it's also going to make sure that they're actual search engine optimized as well. Like, so they're ones that are questions that would help you rank by someone finding them. Okay, so we're just going to have that and hit that, and that's going to see in a few seconds it's going to come up with all the FAQ page created for the business. So here's the FAQ page done, which is just incredible. So there you go. So they're all, it explains to you why they're there. So they're all just questions that people would be really asking on the internet. Is your glassware dishwasher safe? What makes glassware unique? FAQ. So they're like that, but they're also SEO optimized. So they have like SEO words ready to go in there. Okay, so incredible, way easier, and that's the best way to do it. All you literally say is, can you please create an FAQ page for this business that is also SEO optimized? Simple as that. And then you're going to get one spat out like that. Okay, and then all we need to do is copy and paste that across. So all we're going to do now is we're going to go through back to our here, and we're going to go add in another section. So we're going to go back to this here. We're going to go back to template, underneath rich text, add section, and then you're going to go to a collapsible content, this one here, click that, and then this is our FAQ. So we've got FAQ already written up the top there, so we don't need to really have that again, and then we're just going to put in each of these. So a little bit cumbersome. I'm just going to show you how to do one, and then you'll know how to do all the rest. It'll come up. So you're just going to go through across here, and then just going to say what makes your glassware unique. You're going to copy that from ChatGPT. You're going to go back here, and you're going to go to heading here, and you're going to change that to, why will you not do that? There you go. Now it's changing. Okay, so we're going to do that again, copy that, and then we're going to place that in there. Cool. What makes your glassware unique? And then I'm going to remove the chat, but you can put whatever you want. You could have like all these random things like here. Honestly, you don't need it, so I'm just going to go none. So I'm just going to go without that. And then I'm going to go through and add in our information there. So if you go back here, you just take that from the FAQ that we just created, and then you're just going to put that in there and just Control V in there. So all that is added in there now. So when they click that down arrow, it's got your FAQ in there. Okay, so simple as that, back and forth. I'm not going to show you each and every single one individually. You know what to do. You just go back to copy that, the heading, then copy the part underneath. Okay, so go through, do that, and then I'll go on to the next step. Okay, so once you've put all yours in, you're probably going to have quite a bit more than I've put in there, but that is pretty much what we're going to have for a FAQ. So whatever you've put in there, that is it there. So it still looks clean, still looks on brand, because we've done for this I chose the gold, so we just changed that, and you've shown how to do that. Then we just have our drop down that when people click that, you got a nice each of those that are SEO optimized. Now you'll see here, this is our footer section. I'm going to show you later on when we actually make the homepage live. We can turn off this footer for the homepage so we don't have two. But there's not a lot you can do with the footer for Shopify's basic builder, but that's okay on our all our other pages. It's okay if we don't have that more advanced one. If you did get the paid version of GemPages, you could go through and add it for each page, the more advanced one we made on the homepage. But for you guys, you're trying to save money and we're just using Shopify's built-in one. All you want to do is maybe change this to, like, instead of just saying subscribe to our emails, if you want to change your footer to say something like for the page, you could just say sign up to receive exclusive discounts and offers, something like that. Okay, so you just have that, and then the rest is just as it is. Okay, so you can change all these here. So you can go follow on shop, you can have that section. You have social media icons. If you want to add in, so there's still your social media icons, you just hit, you have that ticked, but then you go to add them in here. Each of them in there, and when you add them in, it'll show up. It'll show up in there. Okay, so when you add that in, and it actually is a proper one, and you add it in, they'll show up at the bottom down here like that. Okay, so that's one way to do it. But for now, we're not going to go into that. But that's how you easily add in social media, so you still have them across your footer. And then a few other things you can change for the footer. If we go back here, so you could add the policy links, payment icons. So this is these here. Once you set those up, language selector, country, region. Just leave it, whatever's already there. That'll be fine. But I just like to change that at least. Okay, so when we hit that, we're just going to hit save. Okay, so we've done an FAQ here, and just looking back, remember we had an FAQ page and template ready to go. Now, that's pretty much done for our FAQ, but to make it actually live as our proper FAQ, we're going to go back to exit. So, and then we go back to pages, and then we go back to here to FAQ. You might need to reset it like I did just then, or it might not show up. And this is our FAQ page. And now this is where it gets, some people are like, what the hell's going on? So if I click this, the FAQ is just going to show that because it shows nothing, even though we just created our design. So this is why people get, like, other tutorials say building a Shopify store is easy. Here's my little 20-minute video. Here's how to do this, this, and this. And then people are like, I've read this in Reddit, I've read it in comment sections, and I've read it in that. And that's why I wanted to make this the ultimate tutorial for people. But a lot of them will tell you, hey, just do this, this, and this. And then, oh, look at that, you're going to have a whole shop done. And yes, once you know what you're doing, it is easy, but there's a lot more to it than just what a lot of tutorials would have you believe. So that's why I wanted to go in deep depth with this. So what we're going to do now, just so this actually does work, our FAQ we just created, we're going to go to this template. Remember, we created a template, and we're going to go, it's not showing it yet. Again, this is why Shopify is a little funny like this. You just want to hit, get that to come up again, and then there we go. FAQ page has shown up. So I'm going to click FAQ, and then I'm going to hit save that. Again, we don't need to put anything in here, because if you put something in there, it's going to put it over the top of what we just created. So we don't need to worry about that. Okay, so now I hit view, and if it's loaded yet, it's going to show our FAQ page we just made. And look at that. And look how much better that looks than the one that Shopify wanted us to have. And see, people click that, and it looks really nice, easy. So there's your FAQ page created like that. Okay, so now we want to go through and update, because we like this design for our FAQ page. And I'm going to show you how you can easily now replicate that and update your about pages and your contact to look same design. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to the online store, and we're going to create a theme for our about. So we're going to create a base theme for our about section. So we're going to go back to customize, and same deal as before. You're going to go to home page, you're going to go to pages, and you're going to go create template. And notice it says FAQ is assigned to one page, because that design was assigned to the FAQ. So now we're going to create about one. There is one already here that I created, but I'm going to go through and I'm going to create one from scratch to show you guys. So you're going to go create template, and I'm just going to call it about updated. You can just call it about, but I'm calling it that. And now this is where we can speed things up. We can do say based off the FAQ page. So we're going to base it off that, so then we don't have to do it all, don't have to reinvent the wheel. We just hit create template. Now we've got FAQ. We're seeing what's our about page template, but it's still showing our and then it's changed it. this time actually to the about. There we go, that's surprising. So don't get yourself too confused now, but that is the FAQ design that we just put in because we based it off that. So we can now change this here to, we can change this to just saying about, and then we can remove this here and delete that. And we can change making sure when you're doing this is about here and this is about here. Just remember you hit change and change it to whichever one it is, just in case that hasn't happened for you. So make sure those two say whatever page you're working on. I've made the mistake before back in the past when I was first getting started, and it wasn't fun. So what we're going to do now is, and notice we've got this already updated too. So we don't need to update that each time for our page, which is awesome. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to just add in an extra bit of information. So we're going to go add section, and then you're going to go rich text. So this is why Shopify is so weird. Its builder, it's very strange. So this is the only way that we can add in. There's not just like a drag text in. Why wouldn't you just do that? The only way we can do it is we add rich text like this. It always has the header, button, everything, but we can delete them. You see what I mean? So you go add that in like that. And then it's going to load it, and we're going to get rid of the button again. And then we can have this up here, which you might use to our favor. I'm just going to have a look what we come up with, but we'll leave that there for now. But we're going to use this part here to put in all the information for our about. But notice it's nice and centered. So what we're going to do is go back to here. Now I'm going to ask ChatGPT to write me an about page. So I'm just going to say, could you, just to give you an example, could you please write me an about page for this business? Okay, and then just hit that, and then what it's going to do is it's going to be do an SEO friendly one, because it remembered that we talked about SEO before, so we didn't even need to ask it to do that again, which is just awesome. And then all you need to do is just copy and paste that. See how I said these headings here, we could individually add each one of those in, but that's going to take a bit of time. If you're a bit of time poor and you just want to get this together, you can put it all in like this, and it will actually put the bold in and everything. So I just don't worry about it about us again, probably no point, but you just want to copy this and then just hit copy to there, and then grab that, and we're going to put this here, and we're going to press Control V, and then there you go. You've got everything added in, bolded, and ready to go for you. So we actually are going to remove this here. If you wanted to get a bit more technical or like advanced with it, you could theoretically, like I said, you could go through and use this here, and you could put each individual headline in. So I'll just give you an example. You could put that there and put this in here. Oh, Jesus, what are you doing? Why are you not copying that? I'm just going to go back here. Let's just give you an example. This one here. I'll give you the proper example. So let's just say you go on this here, and you're going back here, and you want to change that to your heading there. And then you could have nice big ones each time. You could hit bold, and you could do that. And then you could hit duplicate like that, and you could do that. And then you could put this one in between there. But if you click this and you go up, you have to click up. You can't just drag it, which is, again, the basicness of this builder. And then so you can start to do that, and you could individually do each one. But I think that's a bit overkill. We don't need to do that. We can just go what we had there, and now it's decided to delete it on me. We're going to put it back in again. And then so we go back here, we put that in there, Control V, and then delete this one. And then we've got that. Now we can change the text size to be a little bit bigger. So let's change it to 3, heading 1, what's that? Way too big, bit silly. Let's go 2. That's probably a bit better there like that. Cool. So you can go through and you can play around with it a bit. You could click here and you could change the spacing by going like that. and everything, go through and all that. But, you know, I'm pretty happy with that. And now, of course, you can change, you obviously want to put your own brand name in there. So whatever your brand name is there. So let's just make up Ultimate Glassware. You can put something like that at Ultimate Glassware, and then you go through and you put in your city, your region, and everything there, edit as you need. But there is now our About page done. So look at that. Looks super clean, still looks on brand, and way better still than what Shopify originally wants to build it out like. And again, this is something, and again, I don't want to just keep sounding like I'm just talking down the other tutorials and things like that always, but this is something again that is overlooked, I've noticed a bit. So I wanted, when I started this channel and everything, I wanted to make it the ultimate, like some of the best YouTube tutorials out there, and hopefully this is doing that for you. So yeah, if it is, make sure you give this video a thumbs up as a thank you, and yeah, let's keep going along. So that is our About page template now done. So we're just going to hit save there, and that is good to go. So there's our About page template done now. So what do? We go back here, and then we go to our we go to our pages, and then we go to our About page that we've got here, because it wouldn't be using the thing we just made. We want to put it on the About page new. Oh, I would have got myself confused there. I want to do About page new for me, but for you it's just going to be About page. So we're going to go here, and I go About page updated. And now here's something really important. You want to delete this now, because we don't want to have the same, we don't want to have double information. Because if you save that, what would happen is it'll put that plus the one you just added. So we're going to delete that. We're not worrying about it. We built it separate, and then you're just going to hit save. Okay, and now if I have a look at that, we should have a good, nice looking About page. Cool, look at that. Awesome. So now I've got a good looking About page. It still looks on brand, still looks nice and clean. I'd be super happy with that if that was my business. Okay, so there is the About page. Now the final one we want to do is the contact page. That page is already like ready to go as well. But I want to change the contact page as well to be ready to go. So I'm going to show you through one more time. You know, other people might not bother, but I want you want to do everything to show you step by step. Okay, so we're going to go through one more, which is our contact page, just so you also don't get confused with that one. Okay, so we're going to go back to online store, and then you go to customize. You guys are getting good at this now, aren't you? So last one, home page, then you go on pages, and then you go on a create template, and it already has contact, so I'm going to change that to contact updated. So we're going to change it. We're going to base it on, well, let's base it on the contact page, only because we want to have our actual contact page ready to go. So you want to, let's just go back to the contact, which it was on anyway. But so I want to do this one as the contact page, because we want it to actually have the contact stuff there ready to go for you, and that'll make sense in a minute. So go create template. Okay, so it's got one there that I actually did earlier, but I'm going to change that to our design, so you know how to do it now. So making sure that this is both synced up, it's contact, and then we're going to hit this one here, and we're going to change the scheme to this one here, and there we go. Easy as that. You've got your contact page now ready to go. That's all worked. And the reason we had to make sure we chose the contact as the base is it wouldn't have loaded this in. Okay, so we want to just hit save, and then that is that done. So then just finally go back, and then we go back to our pages, and then we go to our contact, and then we go to this. Probably going to load it again because it doesn't always come up, and then we're going to go to contact updated, and then we're going to hit save like that. Okay, so let's just make sure that it worked. Okay, awesome. So there's our clean looking contact page. Love that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to add each of these pages that we just created. We're going to add each of those and make them, add them to our website on our design. So that they're clickable links. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, actually I'm going to show you guys how to do that now too, before we do that. So we've got our FAQ, but that doesn't show up on our menu. Ooh, how do we do that? Easy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back here and we're going to go, do you remember how we did it? We go down to our menus under content. So we go to content and then we go to menus and then we're going to add in an FAQ in main menu. I'm going to go to add menu and then we're going to go to call it FAQ, put it in uppercase, and then we're going to go here. I'm going to just type FAQ. Why does it keep doing that? FAQ, actually, just to be sure, because sometimes I'm not always super trusting. So we're just going to go to here and hit it out, choose it ourselves, FAQ like that. There we go. It's actually showing it as a page. And then just go tick button there and then hit save. So that'll be now on our menu. Okay, so now just what we want to do is go back to our actual builder. I'm going to go here. And we're going to add these in to our page. Okay, so we're going to go back to the one that I'm working on, for which for me is this one here. You guys will just have one there. You're just going to go to your one that you've built out. Awesome, we're getting there, guys. We are so close to done. Okay, so for a design. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add in our pages here. Now you guys know how to do that already. You're going to grab your FAQ and you're going to copy and paste that. You're going to go copy and you grab that and you're going to click here and you're going to go to highlight it and then you're going to go to link. You're going to put that in there and then you're going to undo the underline. And then you're going to go to about, click the about, copy that, put it in there. Go there, and then you're gonna, do the old cheeky turn off the underline, and then contact our final one, contact one here. Okay, so we're gonna take that one and then put the link in there. Now I'm just gonna make sure I didn't get them mixed up. Did I? I don't think so. No, I didn't. I didn't. Okay, so there. All right. Why are you doing underline again? You've been a bit cheeky. Cheeky. All right, so there we go. So we've got everything ready to rock and roll. Before we hit publish, something I want to do, I just want to make sure we get done. So we're going to hit save, make sure you do that. But we get into the exciting part where we can actually publish it and make it our home page. Because at the moment, we're still displaying the basic, boring Shopify homepage. So we're going to go back here. Something we want to do, you want to make sure you do not forget about doing this. This is crucial. Very important step. So you're going to go when it finally loads. You're going to select the one again. You're just going to have one that's your home page, and what you're going to do is you're going to go to here. You're going to select it, and you're going to hit this three dot thing here, and then you're going to go header and footer. Okay. So you want to use Shopify's themes header. It's just, you'll confuse. It's just not a good idea to make your own. Use the theme header. That's good. But we want to untick this. So we want to, just for the home page, we want to untick that so that it doesn't add in its own footer at the bottom on top of the one we created. Went all that hard work. So we're going to hit there and just hit confirm. Okay, so we've done that. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to go back to our home page and what we're going to do now is we're going to do we're going to go actually just making sure that everything's good and ready to go. Yep. Should have a website that you are super, super happy with now, and you should be unbelievably proud of yourself. You've done an incredible job, and you've created something that's just, next level, and I hope that this has been unbelievably helpful for you. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to publish it. So this is the moment of truth. This is where it becomes official. And this is, I remember the first time I ever made like a website out like this, and it was like, it's just the coolest feeling to make your idea and bring it into reality. That's what you're doing right now. So before you do it, pat yourself on the back. Well done. You've done something that, a lot of people think about creating something like this, but then they don't actually do it. So you have. That is awesome. You found this video and you followed through, and now you're about to have an absolute incredible looking website that's just, it's going to create waves. So what we're going to do now, the exciting part, is we're going to hit publish, and this is when we're going to make it officially our home page, our official website ready to go. So we're going to hit publish. Now do not skip this. You make it way harder for yourself and confusing if you skip this step. So make sure you don't do anything just yet. Hit this one here, tick replace current home page. I've forgotten that before when I first got started, and then it just makes it way more difficult than it needs to be to then go back again and figure out how to make it your home page. So I know you're getting excited, you want to make it live, but make sure you tick this. And then hit publish. Okay, in the moment of truth. There's all that. Okay, so now that should be the website live. It says published up here, and it says default. It's made it your default home page, and then it's published. Okay, so then we can check it. If we hit this here, preview. Awesome. So look at that, guys. So you'll notice here, it's still saying all this here, but that's because I clicked the preview button. We've got our website that is officially live. Now to make it just that cool, nice little bit cool, just to prove that it is live for us, we're going to go back here now. I'm going to go back to here. And then if we go to our online store, so we go to here, online store, and you'll see it listed down here now once it loads. So theme library, it shows actually your site there loaded like that. Okay, so that's your current theme. If you followed it all like I did, and how awesome is that? That should be showing your website now, ready to go. And the cool thing is you can also you can duplicate this and you can make a backup. So sometimes I advise people to do that. You can either duplicate and then you've got like a backup that then when you create edits to it, it's like editing over top of that, but you had your previous one. Okay, so we're just going to hit view here, and on your actual official domain, so on my.store one, you've got this now as your official website, your official website done and put together. So absolutely incredible looking website. You should be, I don't know what yours looks like, but you should be unbelievably proud of yourself for having put this together. Yeah, this is the hard part done. Honestly, that is the hardest, most difficult part. Now everything, it's like they talk about like pushing the rock up the hill. You've pushed the rock to the top of the hill of building your website, and now all it is just it's gonna glide back down. Okay, and that gliding back down, I'm here to help you with those final touches, which is going to be your SEO, your email marketing, and just one last thing I want to do for the menu here is actually create a drop down for your all of your collection. Alright, that's it for this video. So if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and either check out the full tutorial or the series linked below, plus my free Shopify launch pack that's linked in the description as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.